Well, look at that mess. We are going to find out if I can put that mess of tree stand together and get another tree stand up here over the 100-year-old apple tree. I'm pretty excited. Last week, you saw a video where I was down here. I put a tree stand up by myself, got it all up and everything. And that turned out really nice. Got some nice shooting lanes into a food plot that still needs some attention. And this Crossbow Appreciation Month video is going to determine whether we can put a tree stand somewhere where we can hunt over that beautiful apple tree. Man, do I love the 100-year-old apple tree. The adventures that I have had down here with Bunjie in front of that tree. You know, I have never killed a deer with a different crossbow under that tree. I've only killed deer with Bunjie. That is the history of Death by Bunjie is built around this tree. It's so important to it. And I am so blessed to still have access to this beautiful tree. And the fact that it's really doing well, right? I planted these other trees. If you look, this guy right here, I think that one, on the screen, it's that guy. That tree has some apples on it too. And these are like domesticated apples, the ones that I planted. Some red gala, stuff like that, and I'll look them up and see which ones are there still. But this is just an old apple tree planted by my ancestors right here on this property. Pretty cool. There used to be, right up here, a maple, big old tall maple. And when I first started crossbow hunting, I set up in that tree in a tree stand, because you got to be in a tree stand, because we're crossbow hunters. I'm hunting as a crossbow hunter now, so I got a tree stand. And I was up there, and I had a nice tree stand 15 yards from that tree, from that apple tree, and every deer that came in here saw me. Every deer knew I was there. It wasn't a big mystery, but it was still fun, and I still killed some deer there. Later on, I cut that tree because I didn't want it falling over on the apple tree. It occurred to me we need to protect that apple tree. That maple I actually dropped, and Genevieve reminds me that we almost hit the apple tree with it when I dropped it. So that was the first one that I started cutting down, because I didn't want them to fall on that tree. So what I did is, and get some more sunlight in here, not use up the moisture, all that stuff. Everything that you need to push these trees away and get some room in here so that tree can really, really live up to its potential, because that's the resource, right? That's the one that we really want to protect. Then what I did is I put a blind over here and had pretty good success with blinds, but bucks don't really like blinds, right? So I moved the blind back to 30 yards or so. I think we were at 25, 30 yards. Genevieve killed her first buck under that apple tree, which is such another blessing. It's such a great piece of history. Death by Bunjie history, Genevieve killing her first buck. Nice little 6-point under that apple tree. Bucks are funny, right? The bucks will come in, like I've sat in that blind and watched does, they just run in here. And you fill up the place with does. Get a whole bunch of does under that apple tree. But the bucks, I'll see them way in the background back there in the woods, and they'll sort of mill around in the back, but they won't come in. They come in at night or whatever. So they're not as motivated by food. Bucks aren't, at least in my experience, right? Limited experience, but that's my experience. So what I want to do, though, is if I get the blind out of here, I'm thinking with a tree stand, you might encourage more buck movement here, be able to see a buck or two in front of this. But the tree stand, where do we put the tree stand? We'll walk around here. You can see I've got all my old cages here that I built for trees over the years. This is all wire. It's all good stuff. I'll pull this out there as I plant new stuff. I pull these out and I put them in service. You got to be careful with stuff like this. I don't want deer running through here in the middle of the night getting caught in it. Keep them piled together so deer can see them and don't get tangled in them. We do over here. Now there's a nice big maple. Right up in here, that guy is real nice. I could put a tree stand in that easy. And then we've got these guys too that I could easily put a tree stand in over there. And so we do have these other options. Now from here, this is what we're looking at, the apple tree. And then we've got the smaller trees. 1, 2, 3, 4 smaller trees still growing nice in here. And then over there, there's 1 or 2 oaks that I've left. Now those oaks, by the time those mature and get big, I'm thinking that those oaks this tree will be dead by then. The apple tree will probably be dead by then. And we'll go from there. We'll see how that works out. But that's way down the road. I don't think we got that kind of a problem today. That's for sure. They are not big enough to put that apple tree in jeopardy. So historically, I would put a blind. I think we were right up in here with a blind. kind of see where I had a blind a little bit here. You see why you would put a blind here. But we had a blind right in here, looking straight out at that apple tree, and it's really almost a perfect shot. Now there is a really nice, check that out. Every once in a while I find a new one of these. That is an old fence post, probably elm, but this thing's got to be 100 years old. I'm not joking. There has not been a fence here in my lifetime. I'm 53. There hasn't been a fence here. This probably didn't look much different from this when we moved here when I was a little kid, when we bought this place off my grandparents. When my dad built the place, my mom and dad moved me here. That thing, isn't that funny? I pick up another one of these every once in a while. I save them, spray them with permethrin good, get the bugs out of them, and then you can varnish them or whatever and use them to hang stuff on or whatever else, something neat. But there's a nice big maple. That is a maple with a ton of saw logs. If I were to put a tree stand in that, we would have just about a perfect shot at that apple tree right up in the air. Now, the question is, do we have breakup? Now, we kind of do. It's a big tree. A big tree. It's got two trunks. If I'm sitting up there, you got to remember, there's not going to be any leaves on the trees by the time the deer come in here to get those apples. Pretty much all the leaves will be gone. So I'm wondering if that is not a bad choice for that stand. It would be very easy to put it here. One-man stand. It wouldn't stand out too much. And I don't think that would be too bad. I'm wondering if I should do that, because that'd be a 25-yard shot for Genevieve. It's not too bad. The other one is a farther shot. I didn't bring a rangefinder with me. I don't even use a rangefinder anymore because my Burris Oracle X Crossbow Scope has a range-finding tool built into it. So the other option, I suppose, we could do something in this guy right here. But the problem with this guy, then you have no breakup. So that's not necessarily a good option, although it would be easier. One thing I do like about these over here is that they are better for your overall wind, for your predominant wind. The predominant wind is going to come from the west and move this way across the tree and blow up through there, except for at night. The thermals will make it settle lots of times, but that stuff, you just got to deal with the predominant wind, and that would be my predominant wind. Now over here in this tree, this maple, we got some branches sticking out right here on a different tree that I could either trim or use as some form of camouflage, and we could set up the tree stand here, right? And incidentally, look what I found. That is the stump of one of the maples that I cut. So it'll be dropped over. But if you're up here, if you look up here, we've got some of this. And those branches, they might have a little bit of leaves left in them early in the season while these apples are dropping. I don't know. So let me play around with the different options here. I do have a ladder. This would be a close shot. Plus it'd be easy to sneak in here on this side away from the deer. My only concern is I wouldn't be able to shoot out in there. Decisions. The bar. And, oh boy. Here, all done. This is a comfort zone. Can you see that? Comfort zone. We'll see about that. I will be the judge of that. We'll put that together in a second here. I'm supposed to have Genevieve down here help me with this stuff, but she's busy in her shop doing her taxidermy. Do me next. So, Second Life Taxidermy, check that out. She is loving it, doing a great job. I'm just impressed more and more every time I go in her shop to see what she's working on, how hard she works on it, and what a good job she does. Really do appreciate it. So hopefully we can set this up, and what limited time she'll have. Once the hunting seasons roll around, she gets busy with the taxidermy, doesn't have as much time to hunt. So hopefully the stand will be a good one for her, where if she gets a few minutes to go out there and hunt, she'll be able to climb up in there and have a good time with it, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully that will work. So see some deer. We'll see how this goes. Life is easy. I said life is easy. Life is so easy. Life is easy. Don't Don't make it hard. Man, I can tell you what. I don't want to do that for a living. Holy cow. Oh, I am getting too old for this. That was a lot. Back in the day, I could have put that up no problem. I don't know why I thought this ladder was going to be long enough. I mean, it's worthless, that ladder is. But that is one tall tree stand. But man, that's going to be sweet. Look at where it ends. It ends up in there. And there's these branches over here that will sort of block it a little bit, won't they? Like when that tree stand is all set up, I'll turn it this way when I've got an extension ladder. I'll have to bring over an extension ladder. But we'll be shooting down through those branches. I won't have to trim too much at all, just enough for a shooting lane. That's going to be pretty sweet. I measured it too. Always have a tape measure in your truck or whatever. And get a 20-footer, not a 12-footer, but whatever. But I measured that. That's an 18-foot. It's 18 feet it'll be to that seat, which is just right for this location. And I like that tree. So I'm going to strap it fast so it doesn't blow over, so I don't have to do all that again. Woo! So I'll strap it fast, but then I'll come back here anytime and put the extension ladder up behind it, turn it with Genevieve's help. We'll get it set up, strapped in, put the ratchet straps to it, a couple of good straps, and it will be awesome. I hadn't mentioned this, but I've got 2 cameras here. A little early for the apples to really start producing stuff on camera, but then again, it's not, right? The deer, over the years, they know what goes on in this little orchard. They know. They pick up on it. It's in their DNA. And so they'll be in here checking that out for sure. And we'll get some pictures of them. I also have one over a block out in the food plot here at the Ridge Staging Food Plot. I will check that one as well. And we'll see where we're at. I think get that ratcheted down. This is a pretty good job done, and we'll check out some cameras. All right, so I've got the tree stand up. I got a mineral rock here, a trophy rock for trophy bucks. And I'm gonna go stick that in front of a camera. I hope I don't kick myself for putting that tree stand in that tree instead of this one right here. Right there's that maple, that split thing over there, but I don't think it'd be a comfortable sit. Put that down. Set those down. That is last week's tree stand. Still standing. That's a good sign, right? Still standing, overlooking the food plot that needs all the work. So we're going to get on that next week. That's next week's video. Crossbow Appreciation Month only here on Death by Bungie. Woohoo. That's pretty good camera setup, I think, right there. We'll zoom out and look at what we got. It's probably 8 feet off the ground, up in the air pretty good. There's the food plot, and it is overlooking the trophy rock. Trophy rocks are pretty cool. They do give you pretty good pictures. There is the tree stand on the ridge where I shot my buck last year here in Pennsylvania. This rock will be removed before the season gets here, of course, at least 30 days before the season. So at the end of August, I'll remove it. Give it another month. It'll probably be just about gone by that time. But at least we'll have some pictures and know what bucks are using this ridge right here. They walk up this ridge, see? Maybe we'll get some pictures. The next video that I do from this area, from the Kingdom of Bungie, is going to be dealing with all this chickweed and curly dock, or clearweed, Canadian clearweed, all kinds of good stuff we got in here. Lots of clover though. See, there's lots of clover. So I'm not going to spray this down. I am going to leave it here, let that clover keep going, because there's tons of clover in here. I'm really lucky with that. Maybe I'll buy a bag of clover and top seed it again one more time. But the deer do eat this clearweed, curly dock. They eat all this stuff, so it's not ideal. I'd rather try not to step on my clover. Wow. And then we'll get the mock scrape going here again. But I don't want to ruin that clover because there's lots of clover in here. And we're just going to make it work, okay? This isn't the primary food source for deer, I hope. But it is an important one to concentrate them for hunting purposes. And it's enough, I think, to get Genevieve a shot from that tree stand right there. Do have a camera right here looking out over the food plot. And I got a little mineral block right there. So we'll get some camera pictures off that and see what we got for deer using this. I hope I have pictures of them actually eating the food plot and not just that. But what I think we'll do next episode of Death by Bungie from the Kingdom of Bungie during Crossbow Appreciation Month. Go through here, weed whack, get rid of the weeds, cut them back a little bit, set them back, Throw in some throw and grow, okay? Maybe fertilize it, we'll see. Maybe fertilize it. Throw some more clover down, right? More clover. And we'll see where we're at. I think, and throw a bag of lime on here too. I'll do all that next weekend. So there is our 100-year-old apple tree. If we zoom in real quick, you can see the apples on here. I mean, it's going to be a banner year. I mean banner. It is just going to be fantastic. So I'm very excited about that. If we look over here at these newer trees that I planted, I don't see any apples on that. Isn't this wonderful? I can sort of look at it and scout without going over there. Look at that. I see some apples. I do see some apples right there in the middle of the frame. Those are apples. How cool is that on that little tree? Now, this guy is in the shade a little bit too much. We'll zoom in. This is the way to scout, boy, in 4K. That's the way to scout right there. I don't really see anything on that one, but that doesn't surprise me. That tree is in the shade a little bit. Really should probably prune some of that, you know what I mean? But this guy, you can tell why they need the shade, or why they need the sun, because look at the apples on that. These trees are, I'm not sure how old they are, I'll write it down, but look at the apples up top, you know? Like this guy's got apples up top, like, I mean, they're gorgeous. I'm going to eat one of those before I leave, I promise you that. There's some nice apples on that tree. And you got the nice pink blush on them and everything else. Those trees, we're finally getting an orchard in here. There were 8 trees that I planted. Only 4 survived. That's all we've got that survived of the 8 trees. But that's pretty good. If we can sit here and have deer at these trees, shoot down in there, have a good time, sounds good to me. Here is an up-close look at the 100-year-old apple tree in all of its glory. Look at that beautiful tree. I don't see anything on the ground just yet. Of course, the deer are in here like vacuum cleaners cleaning them up. There's one right there they've been working on. That's an apple. That's an apple. I spoke too soon. That right there is an apple. 2 of them. So they're falling. They're falling. They're getting deer in here. I hate to walk out here and stink this place up. I don't think I can reach those apples, which is kind of a good thing, I'm thinking. That means the deer can't reach them either. The deer can wait until they fall and then enjoy them. How about that? I don't see any under this tree. That tree looks like it has one I might be able to reach. So if I can reach an apple, I feel like I deserve one for all of the hard work I've done today. What do you think? Man, this grass is tall. I hope I can shoot through this stuff. We might have to whack a shooting lane out here. I don't know. But I'm betting the deer bed in this too. That's going to be a challenge. The deer will lay down in this to stay close to the apples. There is an apple. If you wondered what an apple looked like that took 12 years to grow, that's one of them. That's what it is right there. Let me see if I can grab that dude. Oh, you saw it here on Death by Bunjie. That is a perfect apple. What a beautiful little apple. Holy cow. Not real sweet. I will look up. I have to look them up. What variety that is. But Mark Borchert, this one's for you. How about that? But seriously, nice to have an apple here and there, okay? That's a good sign. That is a good sign. That hopefully is a good sign of things to come for the upcoming crossbow season and the rest of Crossbow Appreciation Month. And until next time, until tomorrow, all hail Bunjie.